Hey everyone, Tony G here. So, in today's video, we are going to be working on foam rolling both our lat. Technically, it's our teres minor and our subscap. However, because there's a lot of different overlap with the muscles, it's kind of hard to say specifically which muscle you're gearing towards. But generally, we're going to say that we're working basically the lat in this kind of complex area. Okay, these areas, because of muscle overlap, tend to have a lot of trigger points and tension in that area, which is why they need to be relaxed. They can contribute to things like shoulder pain, rounded shoulder, a kyphosis through your spine, which is basically this kind of rounded nonsense that happens all the time with people, especially nowadays because we're always on our computers. And you want to make sure that you're releasing that, okay? Now, because you have something called your brachial plexus, which is the main bundle of nerves that innervates your arms, if while you're doing this you're getting numbness tingling into your fingers, stop. This is not appropriate. You could be, you most likely are, compressing the nerve. Now, the nerves can handle some compression. However, you can compress the nerve to the point that it actually dies, and this can cause a whole other slew of issues. So make sure that you're not doing that. That being said, if that doesn't happen, I will say that this is an area that typically tends to be tense on a lot of people. You want to go slow with this one, taking your time, not pushing too hard, feeling it out, okay? That being said, I will go slow with my left arm, and we'll pretend that my right arm is the next level up if I've been doing this for a while, just so that we can kind of get both in the same video, and I don't have to make two videos. Okay? So that being said, here's what's going to happen. This can be done with both the big or the small roller. I know a lot of these videos I've been doing with the big roller, but the small roller is just as adequate. It just might require a little bit more balance, seeing as how this is a little bit smaller than my back. It would be a little bit hard for me to balance on it. That being said, we're going to get the timer going. Typically, I would do this anywhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes. For this particular one, because we are going to target the lats as well as this area, I'm going to go for 2 minutes, especially because we got a large muscle group to kind of work with. Okay, so first thing you want to do is lay on your side with your arm fully extended, palm facing up. Okay, if your palm is facing down, you're internally rotating your shoulder, and sometimes the roller can actually jam your humeral head up into the acromion process and start fraying some of the rotator cuff muscles or your biceps tendons. This you don't necessarily want to do because it can be quite painful. So make sure that you have your palm facing up. Okay. Now we're going to kind of lay on our side here, and just doing this alone, and it's actually just below my armpit or axillary area. Sometimes just doing this, and like my left arm is so tense to the point that just being in this position, I feel tension, okay? Now, if this is the case for you, typically you want to get the timer going, and what you can do is you can just rotate, and let me get the timer going. You can just rotate left to right, kind of working on decreasing the tension, okay? Now, for this particular area, just because I know the body, and I know my body pretty well, I'm actually working on my subscap, slash teres minor, to release it, okay? Now, as I said, if you find an area of high tension, you can pin that muscle against it, and then you can do slow oscillations up and down, just kind of work on loosening up, and actually, that feels good. That's loosening up that area, okay? Now, that being said, if that area is released, you go a little bit lower and work on the area. Now, this isn't necessarily targeting the lat, and I know I did leave the video by saying that I was going to do that. I will follow up with the lat towards the end of this video. This is more like the teres minor subscap. However, if this area is tense and you're trying to work on your lat, sometimes just the tension from here is just going to kind of shut you down. So you want to be mindful of that. If you're working on this area and you feel it through here, work on that area, and then you can always target the lat afterwards. It's not necessarily a bad thing, and I've been on this for like 1:30. Okay. Oh, there you go. Look at that release. Okay. So now, let's use the last 30 seconds here to work a little bit on my lat. So what you want to do, you can have the arm outwardly rotate again, and you're just going to work back and forth, kind of angling yourself in a different sense so that you get more of your back as compared to your armpit type area. Now this one is a little bit awkward, I'm not going to lie to you, and it does take some force to do, but ultimately it is worth it. Okay, we're just going to relax there, and that is a minute 30. Okay, and that's kind of how you work on the lat teres area. You can potentially also, if you wanted to, go into what's kind of like the upper back foam rolling stuff. However, what you want to do is you're just basically going to hug yourself on one side if you wanted to target your lat a little bit more. This could work. So now you're just getting most of the lat, getting to under your shoulder blade. It could be like the lower trap area, a little bit of the rhomboids in there if you wanted to. Ooh. And then you just relax. I want everyone to know this, though, that I do these every other day, and yet still, I still have tension, okay? That being said, don't beat yourself up. If this is your first time doing this, as it may be for many, this is going to be painful. It's going to be a little bit sore and tender. It's going to be that good release, like you're like, oh, that's tight, but I need to get it released. Okay, again, if you're not getting the numbness tingling, that's fine. It's fair game, okay? So, let's rotate our other side. As always, we want uniformity through the body. You never want to just focus on one side, ignoring your other. It's out of the way. And again, we're going to rotate palm facing up and just kind of working, okay? Now, as I promised, this is going to be level 2. So what I did was here is I put my back leg bent, and I'm actually going to lift myself off the floor, applying even more pressure to that area, okay? Oh. And for some reason, my subscap and teres minor and lat complex on this side are extremely tight. Always forget to hit the timer. That's oh well, it's okay. I could use a little extra on this side. And we're gonna go. Okay. Now, ooh, I did warn of funny faces in some of these videos. Again, like I said, these areas are areas of high tension in the body. It doesn't necessarily mean that we want to ignore them, but that we actually want to focus on them. Now, sometimes, if while you're doing this, because any kind of myofascial release is the equivalent of kind of working out at a low grade level, you can have a lactic acid buildup, especially into some of the muscles. So if you are deciding to do a foam roll session or like a yoga session or a stretch session, you always want to make sure that you're following with adequate amounts of hydration and breathing, okay? Lactic acid's precursor is pyruvic acid. It becomes lactic acid, which is that burning that we have in all of our muscles, because it doesn't have proper oxygen and your muscles aren't properly hydrated. So if you were to drink water and take deep breaths while you're doing this, such as like the yogi style breathing, where as you kind of find your area of tension, you take a deep breath in and out. This can help decrease lactic acid buildup, ultimately decreasing some of the soreness through the body. And we got 20 more seconds here. I'm just going to kind of work on loosening up that area. I'm going to pick myself up here, really work on the lats a little bit more. Hug myself and get, yeah, this is a tight muscle right now. We're going to do 30 more seconds, okay? Now, sometimes you are going to have one side being tighter than the other because I'm right hand dominant. Naturally, your right side is going to be a little tighter than your left. So you can do a little bit extra. I know I've always kind of preached about trying to keep everything neutral, but sometimes you will notice that certain muscles, let's say on the left side, you're like, oh, I really don't need that much. And the right side, you're like, oh boy, I am not paying enough attention to this. Again, it's about listening to your body, okay? Foam rolling, it's a science. It takes time. The more you do it, the better it will get ultimately. And you will notice some of the results during your workout, okay? As always, everyone, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I hope these videos are helping, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.